My name is Douglas Owen, and I'm the managing editor of science fiction and fantasy publications here in Stouffville, Ontario. Welcome to our video blog. Now, the last couple of blogs, we talked about, well, submitting your manuscript, what to submit to us here, and how you're going to submit it, and how your work is going to be structured. We went over quite a few things, and a lot of them are in particular to us here at Science Fiction and Fantasy Publications. Today, I'm going to start off going over a couple of things for you that'll teach you about getting your work ready to be submitted. Because you're not going to sit down, pound out 80,000 words, and then send that directly off to anyone. No publisher in their right mind will get past the first 100 words, because they'll see it's a first draft. They'll go, I'm not doing the work on this, the writer has to do something, and send it back. And that's even if you get a response, because sometimes they won't even respond to something like that, because they'll say, this person is not obviously going to work at their craft. So today we're going to talk about rewriting your work. Now, what does rewriting entail? Well, the first thing is, what you're going to do is you're going to sit down and write out your manuscript, be it 20,000 words, 40,000 words, or 100,000 words, or even more than that. Doesn't matter how long it is. You do your first draft. That first draft, and will need editing and rewriting before you even think about looking at submitting. So rewriting is pretty important. Take your draft, finish writing it, put it aside for 30 days. The reason you're putting it aside for 30 days is so you forget what's being written. Usually your first draft, it's just that. It's pretty rough, needs work. Then after the 30 days, open it up, take a look at it, and then start rewriting it in another word processing application. If you use Scrivener for your first draft, you can make a section at the bottom, which is your rewrite draft, and start rewriting, and thus you're rewriting your work. Now, some of it you're going to copy verbatim, but you're going to notice a couple of things that are wrong. Wrong tense, point of view slip, stuff like that, and you can correct it. And that makes your work better, of course. Now, that's your first rewrite. After you've done your first rewrite, you're going to put it aside again for another 30 days. The reason we're using 30 days as basically a milestone is that's how long it takes your mind to focus on something else. You may start writing another short story, or you could actually start another novel. It doesn't matter, but put aside your current one for 30 days that's in the rewriting status, and then revisit it. This is going to be the last 30 days that you're going to put it aside. After that, it's going to be something else. So you do the exact same thing in Scrivener or Word. Scrivener, you open up another panel underneath it and start rewriting into it. With Word, what you want to do is open up another instance of Word, and then read in this one, rewrite in this one. Very simple, very straightforward. After you're done that 30-day rewrite, you want to find critiquers. People who are high-level readers, who know what to look for, who can offer you sentiments and opinions on the work that you've done. You can use online groups. I use one online group that I trust the people who read my work, and I take a look exactly at what they're putting into it. There's other works like other places I use, which are meetups. Meetup is a great place. You're going to find a lot of writing groups in there, and you can get people who you can trust with your baby to take a good read on it and see exactly what it is. But here's the trick. When you're doing a face-to-face meetup with somebody, you may not really know who they are, so you want to get their manuscript also, so that you can do your markups on them and critique their work. So you're exchanging back and forth. It's collaboration between two writers. It's good that way because, number one, it gets you out of the house. Number two, it puts you in contact with other writers who may be going through the same things that you are going through and need help just like you do. Maybe you have a strength in punctuation, maybe they have a strength in dialogue. And you work back and forth from there and get a good quality manuscript out of it. You do this a couple of times. Myself, I like having my work critiqued at least 6 separate times with rewrites in between them before it's polished to an extent that I'm going to deem it pretty good. Now, that's how you use critiques and rewrites, and it's very important. Now, of course, that polishes the work and brings it up to a high level and makes you look better, really, in all honesty. As long as you're using the information that these critiquers are giving you, you should be okay. Now, I say using the information because it's a loose term. If the person is not a very good writer themselves, and you'll be able to tell this from their manuscript when you critique it, because you'll see what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. Maybe they're terrible at point of view, and they have, they're talking about Eliza, and John has got his back turned, but Eliza can see that John's giving her the finger. Well, can't do it because you're then out of the point of view, because John's back is to Eliza, so no way she can see him giving her the finger. Stuff like that. You can also find people that are very good at introspection and know how to do narrative so well it will make you cry. Those are great people to know because they're going to be able to find word bloat and take that out. Word bloat is using too many words or putting info dumps in that you don't need. What is an info dump? Info dump is information that a writer will put in a narrative in some way to bridge the gap of a reader's knowledge, that is. For example, John came across a stream, and of course, John is an expert person for stream jumping. He learnt that information years ago and was taught by a master of sort of thing. That's an info dump. It is not needed. John came across a stream, and he is an expert at jumping, so he jumped across. Perfect. Okay? And that's getting it going for you. There's also a couple of things I want to put out there for you to look for. There's 3 fantastic works that I came across at one of my writings groups that I'm going to suggest everybody to pick up. There's a reason for it, and it's because they're going to help you tremendously. One is called The Emotional Thesaurus. And what it does is it gives you a different way of giving the emotions a person is feeling. So if they're feeling angst, it's not you're not going to put down, John was feeling angst. No, you're going to put down, John felt his sphincter tighten up and his stomach rolled with anger. Well, that tells you the person's got angst. And that's a better way, because that's what they call a show, not a tell. It puts the reader into the work. And that's what the emotional thesaurus will do for you. It'll help you put those readers inside your character, which is really important, because that's what makes a good book. The other one is called the Positive Trait Thesaurus. And it lists out positive traits of people and shows you how to put it into your writing so that your writing really pops. And of course, besides the positive trait, there's the negative trait thesaurus, which is great for any villains that you may have in your work. And those 3 are beautiful works to have with you when you're doing your rewrites. Because you're going to see a tell, and you're going to say, oh, how do I get this into a show? And these 3 sources will help you do that. Now, besides that, there are 2 amazing books I suggest strongly that you read. The first one is by Stephen King. It's called On Writing. In this book, Stephen takes the time to tell you a little bit about his journey at becoming a writer, which, believe it or not, will surprise a lot of you. most people know that Stephen's first novel, Carrie, was his breakthrough. Did you know he wrote the shower scene and then threw it out? It was his wife who pulled it out of the garbage and said, "You got to finish it." If it wasn't for his wife, Stephen wouldn't be where he is now. So, it tells you your better half can be your best judge. Second one here is the first 5 pages. This is extremely important for you. This was put together by Noah Lukeman, and it tells you how to avoid the common errors in most manuscripts. This was my Bible for the longest time when all I did was write. This will show you how to get past the first 5 pages. So how to get someone like me, an editor, to go, wow, that's really good. So take a look at this one also, the first 5 pages. And grab those 3 sources. You'll find them just about everywhere in bookstores or on Amazon and Google Play, I believe. So take a look at them, grab them, have them at your beck and call when you're doing your rewrites, and then start submitting. And hopefully you'll be that much closer to having your work published. So thank you very much for showing up, and happy writing.